You know what your doctor probably never mentioned during your last diabetes checkup? The silent nutritional drain that's happening inside your body right now. While you're busy counting carbs, taking your metformin, and checking your blood sugar 3 times a day, 3 essential minerals are quietly slipping away, and the loss is making everything harder. Your medications aren't working as well as they should. Your energy levels keep dropping. That nerve pain in your feet keeps getting worse. Here's what most physicians don't realize during those rushed 10-minute appointments. Managing diabetes isn't just about controlling blood sugar numbers on a meter. Your body is running a complex operation that requires specific raw materials to function properly. Think of it like trying to build a house. You can have the best blueprints in the world, but if you're missing nails, lumber, and concrete, that house isn't getting built. The same principle applies to managing your diabetes. Recent studies from diabetes research centers have shown that certain mineral deficiencies are incredibly common in people with type 2 diabetes, yet they're rarely tested for or addressed. These aren't exotic nutrients you need to hunt down at specialty stores. They're basic minerals that your body absolutely requires to process glucose, protect your nervous system, and keep your heart functioning properly. But here's the problem. The very act of having elevated blood sugar causes your body to lose these minerals faster than you can replace them through diet alone. Before we dive into the specifics, do me a quick favor. Hit that subscribe button right now so you don't miss future videos on managing diabetes naturally. And I want to ask you something in the comments. Have you ever had your mineral levels tested by your doctor? Not just your blood sugar or A1C, but actual mineral testing? I'm betting most of you will say no, and that's exactly the problem we're addressing today. Let's start with the first mineral that your body is probably desperate for right now, and it's one that affects almost every aspect of how diabetes impacts your health. The first mineral we need to talk about is called magnesium, and I'd be willing to bet that most of you watching this video are running low on it without even knowing. Here's why this matters so much for people with diabetes. Magnesium isn't just another supplement that health gurus talk about on social media. It's a mineral that's involved in over 300 different biochemical reactions happening inside your body right now. And one of its most critical jobs is helping your cells respond to insulin properly. Think about what happens after you eat a meal. Your blood sugar rises, your pancreas releases insulin, and that insulin is supposed to act like a key that unlocks your cells so glucose can enter and be used for energy. But insulin can't do this job alone. It needs magnesium to activate the receptors on your cell membranes. Without adequate magnesium, it's like having a key that doesn't quite fit the lock anymore. The insulin is there, circulating in your bloodstream, but it can't do its job effectively. This is called insulin resistance, and low magnesium makes it significantly worse. Now here's where things get frustrating for diabetics. Your body loses magnesium through urine, and the higher your blood sugar stays, the more frequently you urinate. Every bathroom trip flushes out more magnesium. It's like trying to fill a bucket that has a hole in the bottom. You can keep pouring water in, but you're fighting a losing battle. Over months and years, this constant loss depletes your magnesium stores, and most doctors never think to check for its, how do you know if you're running low? The symptoms can be surprisingly varied and are often mistaken for other problems. One of the most common complaints is muscle cramps, especially in the legs and feet, particularly at night. You might wake up at 2 in the morning with a Charlie horse that leaves you limping the next day. This happens because magnesium is what allows your muscles to relax after they contract. Without enough of it, muscles stay tense and are prone to painful spasms. Chronic fatigue that doesn't improve with rest is another major red flag. I'm not talking about feeling tired after a busy day. I mean the kind of exhaustion where you wake up already feeling drained, and by mid-afternoon you can barely keep your eyes open. Magnesium is essential for producing ATP, which is essentially the energy currency your cells use to function. When magnesium levels drop, your cellular energy production slows down dramatically. Many people also experience what they describe as anxiety or a feeling of being on edge. Your heart might race for no apparent reason. You might have trouble falling asleep, even though you're exhausted. Some people notice muscle twitching, especially around the eyes. These are all signs that your nervous system isn't getting the magnesium it needs to stay calm and balanced. Magnesium acts like a natural relaxant for your nervous system. So when it's depleted, stress hormones take over. For diabetics specifically, low magnesium can worsen neuropathy symptoms. If you've noticed increased tingling, numbness, or burning sensations in your hands and feet, inadequate magnesium could be amplifying those nerve problems. The mineral plays a crucial role in nerve signal transmission and protecting nerve cells from damage. Here's something that concerns me as someone who focuses on health education for older adults. Low magnesium significantly increases cardiovascular risk, and heart disease is already the leading cause of death among people with diabetes. Magnesium helps regulate your heartbeat, keeps blood pressure in check, and prevents calcium from building up in your arteries. When levels are low, blood vessels can constrict, blood pressure rises, and your risk of heart attacks and strokes increases substantially. On a deeper level, magnesium deficiency creates a vicious cycle with diabetes. Low magnesium worsens insulin resistance, which leads to higher blood sugar, which causes more frequent urination, which flushes out even more magnesium. It feeds on itself unless you actively intervene. Your pancreas also needs magnesium to produce and secrete insulin properly. Without adequate levels, your pancreas struggles to keep up with demand, potentially accelerating the progression from prediabetes to full diabetes or from type 2 diabetes to requiring insulin injections. So how do you fix this problem? The good news is that magnesium-rich foods are widely available and don't require a huge budget. Let me give you some practical options that work for real people living on fixed incomes. Pumpkin seeds, also called pepitas, are one of the absolute best sources. Just a small handful, about a quarter cup, provides nearly half of what most adults need daily. You can buy them in bulk at warehouse stores or even at discount grocers. Sprinkle them on salads, mix them into yogurt, or just eat them as a snack. Leafy green vegetables like spinach and Swiss chard are magnesium powerhouses. 1 cup of cooked spinach delivers about 40% of your daily requirement. Here's a money-saving tip. Buy frozen spinach instead of fresh. It's just as nutritious, costs less, and you don't have to worry about it wilting in your fridge before you use it. Sauté it with some garlic and a drizzle of olive oil for a simple side dish. Black beans are another excellent and affordable option. A cup of cooked black beans gives you about 30% of your daily magnesium needs. Plus, they're loaded with fiber that helps stabilize blood sugar. Buy dried beans instead of canned to save even more money. Yes, they take longer to prepare, but you can cook a big batch on Sunday and use them throughout the week in different meals. Almonds are fantastic, providing about 20% of your daily magnesium per ounce. I know nuts can be pricey, but here's what I recommend. Don't buy the fancy roasted, salted, or flavored varieties. Plain raw almonds cost less and are better for you anyway. Keep a small container in your car or purse for times when you need a quick snack that won't spike your blood sugar. Dark chocolate is another source, but it needs to be real dark chocolate with at least 70% cocoa content. A 1-ounce square provides about 15% of your daily magnesium. This isn't permission to eat an entire bar, but knowing that a small piece of high-quality dark chocolate actually provides nutritional benefit can make it easier to satisfy a sweet craving without derailing your diabetes management. Here's a simple meal idea that packs a serious magnesium punch. Make a spinach and black bean salad with pumpkin seeds and a sliced avocado. Dress it with lime juice, olive oil, and cumin. This single meal provides well over half your daily magnesium requirement while being gentle on blood sugar and supporting heart health. If you're considering supplements, and many diabetics do need them, you need to know that not all magnesium supplements are created equal. Magnesium oxide is the cheapest and most common form you'll find at drugstores, but it's poorly absorbed and often causes digestive upset. Skip it entirely. Instead, look for magnesium glycinate or magnesium threonate. These forms are absorbed much more efficiently and are gentle on the stomach. A typical dose ranges from 300 to 400 milligrams per day, but start lower and work your way up to avoid loose stools, which can happen if you take too much too quickly. Take your magnesium supplement in the evening. Many people find it helps them sleep better because of its calming effect on the nervous system. Just don't take it at the same time as calcium supplements or calcium-rich foods, as they compete for absorption. Now let me tell you what makes magnesium deficiency worse, because avoiding these pitfalls is just as important as getting more magnesium. Processed foods and refined grains have had most of their magnesium stripped away during manufacturing. White bread, white rice, and regular pasta contain almost nothing. Switch to whole grain versions whenever possible. Excess sugar and refined carbohydrates create insulin spikes that force your kidneys to excrete more magnesium. Every time you drink a soda or eat a pastry, you're essentially flushing magnesium out of your system. Alcohol is another major culprit. Regular drinking interferes with magnesium absorption in your intestines and increases how much you lose through urine. Certain medications commonly prescribed to diabetics can also deplete magnesium. Diuretics, which are often used for high blood pressure or heart failure, increase urination and magnesium loss. Proton pump inhibitors for acid reflux can reduce magnesium absorption over time. If you take these medications, it's especially important to ensure adequate magnesium intake through diet or supplements. Drop a comment and let me know. Do you experience muscle cramps, fatigue, or trouble sleeping? These are all potential signs of low magnesium. I'm curious how many viewers are dealing with these symptoms right now. Let's move on to the second mineral that diabetics commonly run low on, and this one is absolutely critical for immune function and wound healing. I'm talking about zinc, and its connection to diabetes is more important than most people realize. Here's what you need to understand about zinc and diabetes. Your pancreas, the organ responsible for producing insulin, has one of the highest concentrations of zinc in your entire body. Zinc is literally part of the molecular structure of insulin. When your pancreas packages insulin for storage and release, it uses zinc to stabilize those insulin molecules. Without adequate zinc, your pancreas can't produce insulin efficiently, and the insulin it does produce may not work as effectively. But diabetes creates a significant problem when it comes to maintaining healthy zinc levels. Just like with magnesium, high blood sugar increases urination frequency, and every time you urinate, you lose more zinc. The kidneys don't distinguish between waste products and valuable minerals, they flush out both. Over time, this constant zinc loss can lead to deficiency, and the consequences extend far beyond blood sugar control. The challenge with zinc deficiency is that it often develops gradually, and the symptoms can be vague or easily attributed to other causes. One of the most obvious signs, especially for diabetics, is slow wound healing. Have you noticed that minor cuts or scrapes take weeks to heal instead of days? That small blister on your heel from new shoes that just won't close up? Zinc is absolutely essential for tissue repair and regeneration. Without adequate levels, your body simply can't heal efficiently, which is particularly dangerous for diabetics, who are already at higher risk for foot ulcers and infections. Frequent infections are another red flag. If you find yourself catching every cold that goes through your community, or if you develop skin infections, urinary tract infections, or respiratory infections more often than seems normal, low zinc could be compromising your immune system. Zinc is required for the development and function of immune cells that fight off bacteria and viruses. When levels drop, your body's defenses weaken substantially. Some people notice changes in their sense of taste and smell. Food might taste bland or metallic. You might not be able to smell things as clearly as you used to. Zinc plays a role in maintaining the receptor cells in your nose and on your tongue, so deficiency can dull these senses. This might not seem like a big deal, but it can actually lead to poor nutrition if food becomes less enjoyable and you stop eating well. Skin problems, including dryness, rashes, or acne that won't clear up, can also indicate low zinc. Some people develop white spots on their fingernails. Hair loss or thinning hair is another potential symptom. These outward signs reflect what's happening internally. Your body is prioritizing essential functions and cutting back on things like hair growth and skin renewal when resources are limited. For men specifically, zinc deficiency can significantly impact testosterone levels, sperm production, and overall reproductive health. Many older men with diabetes experience declining libido and assume it's just a normal part of aging or a side effect of their condition. While diabetes does affect sexual function through nerve damage and circulation issues, low zinc makes these problems worse by reducing testosterone production. Women aren't immune to zinc-related issues either. The mineral is important for hormone balance, and deficiency can contribute to irregular menstrual cycles in women who are still menstruating, or worsen menopausal symptoms in older women. Here's something that should concern every diabetic. Zinc deficiency appears to accelerate the development of diabetes complications. Your nerves need zinc for proper function and protection. When levels are low, neuropathy tends to progress more rapidly. The retina in your eyes contains high concentrations of zinc, and maintaining adequate levels may help protect against diabetic retinopathy. Your kidneys also require zinc for normal function and protection against oxidative stress. Cardiovascular health is another major concern. Zinc helps regulate inflammation, which is a key driver of heart disease. It's involved in cholesterol metabolism and helps keep blood vessel walls healthy and flexible. Low zinc levels are associated with increased risk of atherosclerosis, high blood pressure, and heart failure, all of which are already elevated risks for people with diabetes. At the cellular level, zinc acts as a powerful antioxidant, protecting cells from damage caused by high blood sugar. It also plays a role in how your cells respond to insulin signals. Some research suggests that zinc supplementation may improve insulin sensitivity, though the exact mechanisms are still being studied. So, where do you get more zinc through food? Animal sources tend to be the richest and most bioavailable. Oysters are legendary for their zinc content. Just 3 medium oysters provide more than twice your daily zinc requirement. Now, I realize oysters aren't a regular part of most people's diets, and they can be expensive. But if you enjoy seafood and have the opportunity to eat oysters occasionally, they're unmatched as a zinc source. More practical for everyday eating, beef provides good amounts of zinc. A 3-ounce serving of lean beef gives you about 30% of your daily needs. Chicken, particularly dark meat, also contains zinc, though less than beef. A 3-ounce serving of chicken leg provides about 15% of what you need daily. For those who prefer plant-based sources, pumpkin seeds appear again as a top choice. They're rich in both magnesium and zinc, making them doubly valuable for diabetics. A quarter cup provides about 20% of your daily zinc. Chickpeas are another option, with a cup of cooked chickpeas delivering about 15%. Keep in mind that plant-based zinc isn't absorbed quite as efficiently as animal-based zinc because plants contain compounds called phytates that can inhibit absorption. Here's a practical tip for maximizing zinc absorption from plant foods. Soaking beans and legumes overnight before cooking them helps reduce the phytate content, making the zinc more available for your body to absorb. Fermenting and sprouting also help break down phytates. So if you eat a lot of plant-based foods, these simple preparation methods can significantly improve your mineral absorption. A simple meal idea that boosts zinc intake would be a beef and chickpea stew. Use lean ground beef or chuck roast. Add canned chickpeas, tomatoes, carrots, and onions. Season with cumin, paprika, and black pepper. This hearty meal provides substantial zinc while being relatively affordable and easy to make in large batches that you can freeze for later. If you need supplemental zinc, look for forms like zinc picolinate or zinc glycinate, which are well absorbed and gentle on the stomach. A typical dose ranges from 15 to 30 milligrams per day. Higher doses aren't necessarily better and can actually cause problems. Taking more than 40 milligrams of zinc daily for extended periods can interfere with copper absorption and potentially weaken your immune system rather than strengthen it. Here's an important caution. Always take zinc supplements with food to avoid nausea. Some people find that zinc on an empty stomach makes them feel queasy. And if you take zinc long-term, consider periodically adding a copper supplement as well, since zinc and copper compete for absorption. A ratio of about 10 to 15 milligrams of zinc to 1 milligram of copper is generally appropriate. What makes zinc deficiency worse? High sugar intake increases the demand for zinc because it's needed for insulin production and glucose metabolism. The more blood sugar your body has to process, the more zinc it uses up. Alcohol consumption is another problem. It interferes with zinc absorption and increases excretion through urine. Vegetarian and vegan diets, while they can be very healthy, require more attention to zinc status because plant-based zinc is less bioavailable. If you follow a plant-based eating pattern, you may need to consume 50% more zinc to meet your body's needs. Certain medications, including ACE inhibitors for blood pressure and diuretics, can also reduce zinc levels over time. Let me hear from you in the comments. Have you noticed slow wound healing or frequent infections? Do you think low zinc might be affecting you? Your experiences could help other viewers recognize their own symptoms. Now let's discuss the third mineral that plays a surprisingly powerful role in blood sugar control. Yet most diabetics have never even heard of it. This mineral is called chromium, and while your body only needs tiny amounts, those tiny amounts make a huge difference in how well your insulin functions. Chromium is what scientists call a trace mineral, meaning you need it in very small quantities measured in micrograms rather than milligrams. But don't let that fool you into thinking it's not important. Chromium is a key component of something called glucose tolerance factor, which is a complex that helps insulin work more efficiently at the cellular level. Think of insulin as a delivery truck trying to drop off packages of glucose at your cells. Chromium acts like the dispatcher and navigation system that helps the truck get to the right destination and unload its cargo quickly and efficiently. Without adequate chromium, insulin takes longer to do its job, and some of that glucose never makes it into the cells where it belongs. It stays circulating in your bloodstream, contributing to elevated blood sugar readings. Here's the frustrating part for people with diabetes. Just like magnesium and zinc, chromium is lost through urination, and high blood sugar increases that loss. The more carbohydrates you eat, especially refined carbohydrates and sugar, the more chromium your body uses up trying to process them. It's another one of those vicious cycles where the very condition you're trying to manage makes the deficiency worse. Chromium deficiency doesn't usually cause dramatic symptoms that send you running to the emergency room. Instead, it shows up as persistent issues that make diabetes harder to control. If your blood sugar has been more difficult to manage despite sticking to your medication schedule and watching what you eat, low chromium could be a contributing factor. Intense carbohydrate and sugar cravings are one of the hallmark signs. You might find yourself obsessing about bread, pasta, cookies, or other starchy foods. These cravings aren't just a matter of willpower. When chromium is low, your body struggles to regulate blood sugar and appetite hormones properly, creating very real physical cravings that are hard to resist. Unusual fatigue, especially after eating, is another clue. You might feel like you need a nap after lunch, or you experience energy crashes in the afternoon. This happens because without adequate chromium, glucose isn't moving into your cells efficiently. Your blood sugar might be high, but your cells are essentially starving for energy, sending signals to your brain that you're tired and need more food. Some people notice difficulty concentrating, or what they describe as brain fog. Your brain runs almost exclusively on glucose for fuel. When glucose can't get into brain cells properly, cognitive function suffers. You might struggle to focus on tasks, forget things more easily, or feel mentally sluggish. Mood changes, including increased anxiety or irritability, can also occur with chromium deficiency. The blood sugar fluctuations that result from poor glucose metabolism affect neurotransmitter production and function, which impacts your emotional state. Many people find that stabilizing their blood sugar through better chromium status actually improves their mood and reduces anxiety. Research on chromium and diabetes has shown some interesting findings. Several studies have indicated that chromium supplementation may help improve blood sugar control, increase insulin sensitivity, and reduce hemoglobin A1C levels in people with type 2 diabetes. The effects aren't dramatic enough to replace medication, but as an adjunct therapy, chromium shows promise for helping optimize diabetes management. The challenge is that chromium is needed in such small amounts and is found in relatively small quantities in food, so it's harder to get large doses through diet alone compared to other minerals. But there are definitely food sources worth emphasizing in your eating plan. Broccoli stands out as one of the better sources. A half cup of cooked broccoli provides about 25% of the estimated adequate intake for chromium. It's also low in calories and carbohydrates, making it an ideal vegetable for diabetics. Steaming or microwaving broccoli preserves more nutrients than boiling. Grape juice contains chromium, but here's the catch. It's also high in natural sugars, so drinking large amounts would be counterproductive for blood sugar control. An occasional small glass, maybe 4 ounces, can contribute some chromium without causing a major glucose spike, especially if you drink it with a meal that contains protein and fat. Green beans are another vegetable source, providing about 15% of adequate intake per half cup serving. Like broccoli, they're low in carbohydrates and fit well into a diabetes-friendly eating plan. Whole grains contain chromium, though the amounts vary depending on the type of grain and how it's processed. Barley and oats are relatively good sources. Lean meats, including beef and poultry, contain some chromium. A 3-ounce serving of beef provides about 10% of estimated adequate intake. Eggs contain small amounts as well, with 1 large egg providing about 5%. For a simple meal that maximizes chromium, try grilled chicken breast with roasted broccoli and a side of barley. This combination provides chromium along with lean protein and fiber that helps stabilize blood sugar. It's also easy to prepare in advance for meal prep throughout the week. When it comes to chromium supplements, this is one mineral where supplementation is quite common among diabetics, and some doctors actually recommend it as part of a comprehensive diabetes management plan. Chromium picolinate is the most studied form and appears to be well absorbed. Typical doses used in research studies range from 200 to 1,000 micrograms per day. Start with a lower dose, around 200 micrograms daily, and monitor how your blood sugar responds over several weeks. Some people notice improvements in blood sugar control and reduced cravings within a month or 2. Others may need higher doses to see benefits. As always, discuss supplementation with your healthcare provider, especially since it can affect how your diabetes medications work. You might need medication adjustments as your insulin sensitivity improves. One caution about chromium supplements: they should be taken with food to improve absorption and reduce the chance of stomach upset. And be patient. Unlike medications that work within hours, chromium's effects on blood sugar control develop gradually over weeks as your body's chromium stores are replenished. What depletes chromium and makes deficiency worse? Refined carbohydrates and added sugars are the biggest culprits. White bread, white rice, sugary cereals, pastries, and sweetened beverages force your body to use up more chromium trying to process all that glucose, Every time you eat highly processed carbohydrates, you're essentially draining your chromium reserves. Stress also increases chromium excretion. When you're under physical or emotional stress, your body releases stress hormones that affect mineral metabolism and increase urinary losses. Intense exercise can have a similar effect, though the health benefits of exercise far outweigh this minor drawback. Antacids and medications that reduce stomach acid can interfere with chromium absorption over time. If you take these medications regularly for reflux or ulcers, you may need to pay extra attention to chromium status. Before we wrap up, I want to drive home a critical point. These three minerals, magnesium, zinc, and chromium, don't work in isolation. They function as part of an interconnected system that regulates how your body processes glucose, produces and responds to insulin, protects nerve cells, maintains immune function, and prevents cardiovascular complications. Many diabetics are deficient in two or even all three of these minerals simultaneously, creating a compound effect that makes diabetes significantly harder to manage. Correcting these deficiencies won't cure your diabetes. Let me be crystal clear about that. You still need your medications, regular monitoring, and all the other aspects of good diabetes care that your doctor has prescribed. But addressing mineral deficiencies can be the missing piece that helps everything else work better. Your medications may become more effective. Your blood sugar may stabilize and become easier to control. Your energy levels may improve. Your nerve pain may decrease. Your wounds may heal faster. These aren't guarantees, but they're realistic possibilities when your body has all the raw materials it needs to function properly. Here's what I want you to do after watching this video. First, at your next doctor's appointment, ask about getting your mineral levels tested. A simple blood test can measure magnesium, zinc, and other nutrients. Medicare typically covers these tests when ordered by your physician for a legitimate medical reason, and diabetes-related complications certainly qualify. Second, take an honest look at your diet. Are you eating enough magnesium-rich foods like leafy greens, beans, nuts, and seeds? Are you getting zinc from sources like meat, seafood, or pumpkin seeds? Are you including chromium-containing foods like broccoli and whole grains? If not, start making gradual changes to incorporate more of these foods into your regular meal rotation. Third, if testing confirms deficiencies or if symptoms strongly suggest you're running low, consider high-quality supplements, but always under medical supervision. Minerals can interact with medications and with each other, so professional guidance is important for safety and effectiveness. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Tell me which of these three minerals you think might be affecting you based on the symptoms I described. Have you ever had mineral testing done? And are you going to make any changes to your diet or talk to your doctor about supplementation? Your experiences can help other viewers who are dealing with similar challenges. If you found this information valuable, please hit that like button and share this video with someone you know who has diabetes. Whether it's a spouse, parent, friend, or someone from your church or community group, this information could make a real difference in their health outcomes. And don't forget to subscribe so you catch our future videos on natural approaches to managing diabetes and staying healthy as you age. One final thought before you go. Managing diabetes is a marathon, not a sprint. It's about making consistent, small improvements that add up to big results over time. Addressing mineral deficiencies is one of those improvements that doesn't require expensive treatments or complicated protocols. It's straightforward, evidence-based, and within reach for anyone willing to make some simple adjustments to their diet and supplement routine. Thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourself, keep monitoring those blood sugars, and remember that you have more control over your health than you might realize. Small, consistent actions lead to meaningful improvements. I'll see you in the next video, where we'll explore another important but overlooked aspect of diabetes management. Until then, stay healthy and keep advocating for your own well-being.